Good afternoon, it's Miss Kim with Miss Kim's Tarot and Tearoom.com. It is 1:45 p.m. on June the 25th, 2026. Today I'm going to talk about the upcoming aspects for June 26th through the 28th, 2026. So let's get started on the astrological aspects. On Friday, June the 26th, we have the moon in Scorpio. At 1:10 p.m. it goes void of course. Then at 2:41 the moon will go into Sagittarius, so it'll lighten things up a little bit there. And the first aspect is the moon trine Mercury, which is a good time to reach decisions and to persuade other people. Then we have the sun quincunx Pluto, which means there will be a struggle between the ego and the spiritual will. Next, we have the moon opposition Mars, where there is high energy but not cooperation. The last two aspects could work together, causing some friction actually. Then we have the moon trining Jupiter, which requires us not to be overly optimistic with our ideas, but to be more practical in planning them out. Then we have the moon opposition Uranus. There could be distractions, unconventional acts, or thoughts. You have to be very careful with this one. Then we have the moon trining Neptune last, which causes idealistic, romantic, and friendly interactions. At the least, it ends on a good note. Okay, so let's head over to June the 27th. The moon is still in Sagittarius. Then the first aspect is the moon sextile Pluto. There could be enlightening discussions and intense feelings that day. Then we have the moon quincunx the sun. It is a period of self-examination and transformation if you are willing to get in deep and do the work. Then we have the moon trining Saturn. You will accomplish what you need through patience. And on Sunday, June the 28th, we will have the moon in Sagittarius. Then it immediately goes void of course at 1:05 a.m. So basically that day is going to be a complete void of course day. There won't be a sign in the moon, which means this will be a day where we won't get a lot done probably, and you might just want to rest. Then Mars is going to go into Gemini at 3:29 p.m. and be prepared for a lot of talking, and some of that talking can get argumentative with Mars being in that position. So the first aspect is Mars sextile Jupiter, which means you can use your talents to get what you want. Then we have the moon trining Venus. There you will have the ability to make beautiful purchases and redecorate this day. Then we have the moon quincunx Mercury. There will be a need for your thinking and emotions to balance at this time. So remember, on the 29th of June, which is a Monday, that's when Mercury goes retrograde at 1:36 p.m. and we also have a full moon at 7:57 p.m. While that moon is in Capricorn, you also may want to zip over and take a look at the video that I made about June 29th specifically, so you can kind of know what to prepare for coming up for this full moon and Mercury retrograde. It's going to be a very interesting combination of energy. So what I'm going to do next is a little spread for the weekend for the collective consciousness. That means you and whoever sees this. So I'm just going to do a 10 card spread, and my necklace is going everywhere. See what we can see that's going to transpire over the weekend. Okay, what does the collective need to know that's coming up over this weekend, which is the 26th through the 28th? Finances look good. The ability to possibly make more money, or that could be the beginning stages of wealth, or if you want to wealth plan, this might be a good time to do it. And then it says that obstacle is looking at what you feel you failed at or is lost, and not paying attention to what is still possible and definitely has promise. So shift your focus from thinking that something's lost or wanting that thing that is no longer available to what is available now and what can I do to work with it to be successful in the future. And then here we have the best you can arrive at. It certainly says that there's possibilities of things being offered to you almost divinely, but you may not energetically have the ability to partake in it, or you just are weary and not wanting to. So take a look at that. Makes me wonder if it's that day where there's a void of course moon. You're just like, I'm not feeling it. And then this is saying what you can work with and use is your fears, your worries, your anxiety. And that certainly during the time where you're having a spiritual transformation going on, which is definitely showing aspect wise, you can take a look at those individually and see where they actually originated from and watch them get smaller and smaller till they eventually disappear. And then we have there could be some news coming in that's making you feel like, I cannot figure out what to do with this. I can't go back where I was. I can't stay where I am, and going forward does not offer me any guarantees. I'm going to have to move forward in faith, and I don't like this feeling. So that could be some things that are coming up. But it's more passing away and new energies coming in with new opportunities for work, employment, commission, freelance work. All of these things are possible in the near future. And then here it's saying there is a matter, whether it be a physical, material thing or something that you are holding on to that is really standing in the way of your success and being able to move forward where you're really meant to go. So I just want you to really pay attention to this. This card can mean a sign of hoarding, but it also can mean hoarding your energy, refusing to give yourself to the world or outwardly, but it is in a stingy way, not so much of wanting, to protect yourself. It's refusing to give in. This energy creates stagnation in the body, mind, and spirit. And then here we have you may be dealing with authority, or authority may be something that is going to be present at this time, and you may at some point have to deal with an attorney or the police or the tax office. So it's definitely showing that there is authority in some way, or you could be that authority. And then it is showing hopes and fears, which these are really good. The beginning stages of creativity. This card could mean wealth. It could mean a child or a pregnancy. This is certainly friendship, intimacy, courage. These are good things, which is over the weekend. And then the outcome is showing stability. Basically, what we're doing now is determining what's going to be coming up between now and April, how you handle things. And we're definitely, when we get to this Mercury retrograde, I'm going to talk on that just a little bit. I'm keeping my eye on the time because I don't want it to get too long. I always say that, and I get longer and longer. Be prepared for people that you have not talked to in a while to show back up, and pay attention to the way you were when these people were in your life, as opposed to what your life is now and who you are now, because there's always versions of yourself that don't match what's coming back in. And sometimes it's just a test to see, am I going to give into this? Am I going to go backwards, or I'm going to go forwards? Am I going to get in this same kind of energetic dance with this person or this situation. It is presenting itself to see if you have healed or how much more you have to go. And also, these people, you know, I'm going to warn you. It's my warning. If you start a new relationship during this time, when Mercury goes retrograde, often it doesn't go past the duration of the Mercury retrograde, or if it does, it has a very unusual feel to it, a very strange something that surrounds it. But usually there's not longevity. And sometimes we're not meant to have longevity in certain relationships, and for that, you know, yay, if you want something short term. But signing leases, moving during this time is really, you know, challenging. Getting a haircut, we've already talked about that. So just be aware of that some people might be coming back into your life and you could be tested. And what you're tested on will depend on where that Mercury is in your chart. It's actually going to fall into Cancer, but you need to take a look at where Mercury is in your chart so that you can get the lesson where they correlate. So this is the lesson of this Cancer. What do I accept? Why do I feel like I don't deserve certain things? Why do I feel like I'm not good enough? And then you go back over and you look at your Mercury, that house it is, and that's going to tell you where you're going to get the lesson to sort this kind of energy out. So I just had a light bulb go off. So I'm going to do a 3-card spread, and then I'm going to close this out. I'm going to use the True Intentions deck. I love this deck. And I'm not like doing any kind of press for them. I just really love that it's short, sweet, and to the point. That's my Aries ascendant. It is short, sweet, and to the point. Well, not always sweet. So we have chaos. I'm a magnet for trouble. It's not my fault. I leave a trail of mayhem behind me. So maybe we need to look in our lives where we do leave a little mayhem and chaos behind us. And maybe we need to be thinking about how to clean that up. And then we have collaborate. We are aligned in our purposes. Let's combine forces to help each other succeed. So that's possible, but remember, who you blend energy with, you also start to become like as well. Make sure who you're blending energy with is who you want to long-term blend energy with. Health. I'm here to support your journey towards wellness and balance. So health might be something, positive moves for your health during this time. So I'm going to leave it here. I am Miss Kim with Miss Kim's Tarot and Tea Room. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye.